I made this tutorial for Shopify beginners who want to learn how to get started with the most popular free Shopify Dawn theme, quickly and easily. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how I use the free Shopify Dawn theme to create a professional looking store to sell smart water bottles. But of course, you can use the setup for anything you want. So for example, I also use the free Dawn theme for my own Shopify store where I sell these self-published dog training books and also this online dog training course. So the first thing I always do when customizing a new Shopify store is start with the homepage. So that's exactly what we'll do in this tutorial video. So we'll set up this announcement bar to share a discount code for the first-time customers, add a header with your logo and menu items, and build out the image banner to showcase your most popular product with a link to it, with a link to the product, and also show you how to add your featured product section. So this means we'll first need to add products, and I'll walk you through that as well. And it's very important to install a great customer review app on your Shopify store, since Shopify doesn't have a built-in review feature. So I show you which review app I use for my online dog training course. So this is the review app, as you can see over here. More than 800 reviews in the store, and I'll share plenty of other helpful tips as well. So first, if you haven't signed up for Shopify yet, please use my link in the description. And as a thank you, I'll send you free access to my Shopify course. You'll find all the info about that in the description of this video as well. So first things first, now we're in the Shopify dashboard. Let me quickly give you some pointers on how this dashboard works and how the editor works. So first, if you go to your online store over here and click this icon, you can view your online store how it looks right now. So this is the default homepage of our store. If you click on online store, you can see that the current theme is the Dawn theme. That is the default Shopify template installed on every new Shopify store. And then over here, we can click on customize. So this is the Shopify editor, and we'll spend most of our time for this tutorial in this Shopify editor. So let's quickly go over how this editor works. So at the very top of the screen, there is a drop down that lets you switch between different pages of your store. So by default, it opens on the home page, but you can easily switch to, for example, product pages or collection pages. So your cart page, the checkout page, and so on. And you can customize the content of each one individually. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the page structure. So this sidebar shows all the sections currently on the page. So it starts with the header section, which includes the announcement bar, but it also includes your logo. So if we click on the header over here, it includes your logo, it includes the menu items. And then there is the middle part, which is called the template. And this is the main content area of the page. So this is where you see things like the image banner. You can see the featured collection, which is the featured products here. And lastly, there is the footer. And the footer is also something we will edit in this tutorial too. And you can click on any of these sections and you can tweak them. On the right hand side, you see some settings over here. If we click on the footer section, for example, we have settings, and we can also add new sections. For example, here we can add a new section, but we can also use this. If we hover over this part here, we can add a section. So for example, let's say if we click on it, and here you can see all kinds of different sections we can add to our homepage. So for example, let's say we want to add blog post. You click on it and you click on add the blog post section. And now as you can see, there's a new settings bar at the right side here where we can tweak the layout of the blog post section. And then if you want to remove a specific section, you can just hover over it and click the bin icon. You can also hide specific sections. As you can see over here, you can hide it by clicking this icon. But if you want to remove it, click the bin icon. You can also change the order of it. So for example, let's say if we want the future collections to be at the top, we can select it and just drag it onto the top here. And now the future collection is at the top of the homepage. I'm going to move it back. And if you've made some changes, you can click on save to make sure it is saved. And then to see the latest version of your store, you can click these three dots here and then click on view, and then a new link opens to your store. I'm gonna close these now. So that's a little introduction to the Shopify editor of the Dawn theme. So as I mentioned before, the first thing I do when I customize a new Shopify store is always that I start with the homepage, and we'll go from the top to the bottom, starting with the announcement bar and finishing at the footer. So let's start with the announcement bar. So I'm gonna click on the announcement bar, and then as you can see, we can add multiple announcement bars. I'm just gonna add one here. I'm gonna remove this one. I'm gonna click the bin icon. I'm gonna click this one so I can edit it. Here I can edit it, and I'm gonna use something like this. Get 10% off your first order. Use the code FLOW10. Then I can link it to somewhere if I want. I'm not gonna do that. If I click the announcement bar here again, I can tweak some settings here. For example, I can pick a background color that matches my brand. And also good to know, we want to edit our store for mobile first, of course. So make sure the text is easy to read and stays on one line when viewed on mobile. So if you click this deactivate inspector tool, you can see it more clearly, as you can see right now. So this is fine. I'm gonna switch back to desktop again. I'm gonna click on save. Now we have to add that discount code. I'm gonna click on exit here. I'm gonna go to discounts. I'm gonna create a discount. I'm gonna use this one, discount the total order amount. For the discount code, I'm gonna use that same discount code name. Percentage, it was at 10% off. And then I'm gonna say limit to 1 use per customer. It's only for new customers, so you cannot use it multiple times. And then I'm gonna click on save. I'm gonna go back to the online store. I'm gonna click on customize again. So this is where your logo and the navigation links and the icons are. So I'm going to click on the header section. And then on the right hand side, if we scroll down here on theme settings, we can upload our logo. Here we have our logo. I'm going to select the logo. I'm going to upload my logo. So I'm going to click on done. The logo is uploaded. Then we can make it bigger over here if we want. We can change the width. So something like this. And we can also edit the logo image. I'm going to click on this pencil icon over here. So as you can see, there's a lot of white space above the logo and below the logo, and I want to remove that. I'm going to click on crop and transform, and I'm going to click on freeform, and then we can change this over here to something like this. We can move this up too, and then you're going to click on apply, and then you're going to click on save. I'm going to exit this page over here, top left corner, and now the logo is fine. Now we can choose our menu. We can change the menu over here. So the default is called main menu. If we click replace, so now the main menu is selected. We have a footer menu and a customer account menu. Those are by default inside your Shopify store. If we click this icon over here, we can go back. We can edit this menu if we click over here on edit. It opens a new window, and here you can see you can find this too if you go to content and then menus, and then we select the main menu, and here we can tweak the main menu items. You can also add sub items. So for example, I can drag this below the home item, as you can see. We can remove items and we can add a menu item. So for example, all products, and we can link it to products and then all products, for example. We can move this one up. I'm going to click on save, and we can close this window. I'm going to click on save, and now you can see the menu is updated. Then on the right hand side here, we can see some more settings. So for example, you can also add a mega menu. So a mega menu, if you have a lot of items in your menu. As you can see in my online dog training Shopify store, I also don't have any drop-down items. So I link to my books, I link to the course, a contact page, and my story, so about me page. We can also use a sticky header if we want. It's on default. So the default setting is on scroll up. So as you can see, if we scroll up, the menu appears here. And one great thing about Shopify is that your website will automatically look good on mobile devices. So if you click the mobile view here, you can see it looks great on mobile devices by default. So as you can see here, the menu items look great. So let's now continue with the hero section. So the image banner. So the image banner is included in the default layout, but you can also add it yourself if you click on add section and then go to image banner. So we're gonna use the image banner too. I'm gonna click on the image banner. So it's important that you upload a high quality image, of course, and I also recommend using specific dimensions for this image. So this is the image I want to use inside this image banner, but there are a few things that I don't really like about this image. And first thing is the image size. So now it is 2 megabytes, almost 3 megabytes. And if you search online on best practices to make sure your Shopify store loads quickly, one of the best tips is to reduce the size of your images. So that's one thing. Second thing, now the dimensions are 2000 times 1200. So if I were to upload that image, so if I would do that right now, so I just uploaded the image, I'm gonna click on done. And if we click on save, if we're gonna view the page right now, so I'm gonna click on view, you can see the product isn't totally visible right now, which of course is a problem. So as you remember, this is the actual product. We obviously want to showcase the entire product. And that's because the height, so this is the height, the 1200 is the height of the image. It should be smaller than 1200. So I think I've read somewhere online that Shopify recommends 850 height pixels for the image. So how do you change that image to that new height? So I do that using Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. I'm not sure what other tool allows me to do that. So I suggest if you want to tweak your Shopify store, your images, get a subscription for Adobe Photoshop. I don't think it's that expensive. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to click on File and I'm going to open the image. I'm going to click on Open and I now opened the image. So this is the image. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on Image and I'm going to go to Canvas size. And right now we can see the width and the height of the image. And I'm going to tweak the height of the image to 850. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click on Proceed. And now as you can see, the height changes. So it looks pretty similar to our actual website right now, as you can see. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the layer. And then we're going to go to Edit. And then we're going to click on Free Transform. You can also click on Control-T if you're on Windows. And now as you can see, it opens these lines and we can tweak the image. And I'm going to make it so it fits perfectly inside this container. I'm going to move it to the right so it's in the middle. And then I'm going to click this icon here. But now we have those empty spaces here on the left and right side. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select this feature here. I'm going to make a selection here. So I'm going to click the left mouse button and I'm going to make a selection here just like this. And then I'm going to click this icon here, the invert selection tool. And now the left side and the right side is now selected. And I'm going to click on the AI fill feature here. And I'm just going to click generate. So now it's generating some content here on the left and right side, which should look similar to our actual image. So now I'm going to export this image. It's now ready. I'm going to click on File. I'm going to click on Export. And I'm going to quick export as PNG. And I'm going to save it somewhere on my computer. So this is the image I just saved. But there is one issue, and that's the size of the image. So as you can see, it is now close to 2 megabytes. But if we want to focus on the Shopify store speed, we have to reduce the size of the images in our store. So there is one drawback for doing that, and that is it will reduce the quality of the image. So right now, this image looks really good. The quality is good. So now we will export this file with a reduced image size. I'm going to click on File, save a copy, and I'm going to use this one, the WebP. So this is the name I will give it. And I'm going to click on Save. And now we have some WebP options over here. And this is the options I'll use. So the quality is 65. So to still maintain some quality of the image, but also we want to reduce the size of the image. So we have to make a compromise here. I'm going to click on OK. And now as you can see, this is the new image. And it still looks pretty good, right? But now we can see the big difference here. If we hover over this image, you can see it's only 28 kilobytes. And remember, this one is 1.6 megabytes. So that's a really big difference. So I'm going to go back to my Shopify store. I'm going to go back to the image banner. I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to click on Change. I'm going to remove it and I'm going to select the new image. So I'm going to click on Add Files. I'm going to select the new file. It's now uploading and I'm going to click on Done. And now if we click on Save and if we go back to our store and if we click Refresh, now you can see the image is properly in the middle. And we can also see the entire product. And it still looks fine. Also, if we take a look at the mobile version, as you can see, it is still good. It's great. And by the way, could you let me know if this was like too much information for this tutorial? Maybe these tutorials are getting too long because I share that extra information and maybe it's not even necessary. Let me know down below in the comments if you like those extra details in these tutorials. Let's now add some copy. So let's change the text here. So I'm going to click on the heading and I'm going to change it to something like this. This isn't just a water bottle. And then we can also add a block here. So we can add a new text element. We want to add a subtitle here. I'm going to tweak this style to subtitle so it's a little bit bigger, and I'm going to change this text to something like this. And then we have the button, also called the call to action button. And if we click this button over here, we can tweak the text of the button, and I'm going to tweak it to something like this. Experience Thermacore 1, which is one of our products. So this is the product Thermacore 1, which is the best product in our listings. And then over here we can link it to a specific product, but we haven't created the different products yet. So I'm gonna leave it just to all products. I'm gonna click on save. And by the way, if you want to tweak the layout of the heading or subheading or the button, there are a few options on the right hand side over here inside the image banner if you click on image banner, but those settings are pretty limited. So if you click the section itself, and if we scroll down to the actual bottom part here, we can see custom CSS, and here we can make some advanced changes. So for example, I asked ChatGPT to write me some CSS code over here. So if I remove it again, you can see the difference. So this is the regular default button. If we add the CSS code, this is the new button. So if you want a full video tutorial on editing Shopify sections and elements with custom CSS, let me know down below in the comments. And also, whenever I do publish that Shopify custom CSS tutorial, it will be added to my Shopify course, right? So I mentioned that before, this is my Shopify University, my Shopify course, which I'll share for free with my newsletter subscribers. So if you go to my website, robinsnewsletter.com, if you enter your email over here, you will get instant access to the Shopify course, which will also right now include this code over here. You can also just pause the video and copy it if you want, but I will also add that specific custom CSS that I wrote here. It will be added to that specific lesson, so you can just quickly copy paste it into your own store if you want to use this specific custom CSS. So I'm gonna click on save. So let's move on to the featured collections, so the featured product section. So by default, the Dawn theme adds the featured collection section in your template. But since this store is new, we don't have any products yet. So let's fix that. So I'm going to leave the Dawn template customization tab. So I'm going to click on exit. I'm going to go to products, and then I'm going to click on add new product. So let's give this product a title. Let's add a description. And next we have to add some great quality pictures here. Always make sure the dimensions are the same for every product image you use. So for example, if we want to use this image as a product image as well, we're going to go to image, canvas size again, and I'm going to tweak this to, for example, 1024 by 1024. And I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to click on proceed. Now I'm selecting both layers over here, and I'm using the shift on my keyboard by selecting both of them. Then I'm going to click right mouse button, and I'm going to say convert to smart object. And then next thing, I'm going to go to edit again, and I'm going to go free transform. And now I'm going to make this image bigger, just like that. I'm going to put it in the middle, and then I'm going to press this icon. I'm going to click on file again. I'm going to click on save a copy. I'm going to use this web P file again. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to upload that particular image I just created, and we're going to do the same thing with another image. And now try to upload as many images as you have, as many quality images as you have. Next, set your pricing. So I'm not tracking my inventory at this moment. I'm not going to disable this one. So the weight is 2 kilograms. I'm going to add some variants for this particular product. So I'm going to click on add options like size and color. I'm going to add some colors. To add more colors, I'm going to click on this color variant. I'm going to add some more colors. So blue, gray. I'm going to click on done. I'm going to add another option. I'm going to add the size option. I'm going to click on create size option. So I'm going to add some values here. So 500 milliliters, 750 milliliters, and 1 liter. I'm going to click on done. Then I can add custom images for these different variants. So for this tutorial, I'm not going to do that, but obviously you should add different images for the different colors. And also don't forget to update the SEO title and the description at the bottom so your product shows up nicely on Google. And then once you've filled everything in, hit the save button. And if you have more products than only one product, go ahead and add those too. You can also click the duplicate button so you won't have to change everything. So that's what I'll do right now to add 3 more of our smart water bottles. So I'm going to change the name. I don't want to include the media, and I want to set it as draft. I'm going to click on duplicate the product. So I'm going to tweak the content right now from this product, and I'll add the other 2 products as well. So make sure to set the status as active when you're ready. Then you're going to click on save. And again, if you click on this icon over here, you can view your online store, and you can scroll down and you can already see the products here. So let me add those other 2 products as well. So in my example, I have now 4 different water bottles. And now if we go back to our homepage, you'll see the products we just created showing up instead of the default placeholder products. So I'm going to go back to the customization section. I'm going to click on online store. I'm going to click on customize. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to tweak the headline. So I'm going to click on on this featured collection section, and then on the right hand side we'll see this settings pop up over here, and here we can tweak the headline, and I'm going to change it to our smartest bottles. And on over here we have some more settings you can explore as well. And one important thing to remember, always check the mobile version. So we have some options over here. We can show it like this. So we have the 4 products, as you can see, but if we scroll down here a little bit, here we see the mobile layout, and here we can also enable the carousel option. And I'm a bigger fan of this, since this will reduce the height of the entire homepage. And then we click save at the top right corner. So next we have the review section. So reviews are an important part of how well your products sell. But the thing is, Shopify doesn't have a native review feature, which means you need to use a third-party review app for your Shopify store. So the one I use for my online dog training business is called Judge Me, which is one of the most popular Shopify review apps. They have a free plan available as well, but the pay plan obviously offers a lot more customization options. So for example, as you can see, this is my product page for my online dog training store. Here we can see an example review widget. I have more than 800 reviews for this particular product. There's this star rating here as well. And I'm going to show you how to add this to your Shopify store as well. So we're going to add that review section below the products over here. So I'm going to hover over with my mouse, and I'm going to say add a section to template. So not add a section to footer, but to the template. I'm going to click on it. We're going to go to apps, and then we're going to browse apps built for online store. So I'm going to click on view apps, and then over here we already see the popular review app. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on install. I'm going to click on install again. Now we need to set our preferred language and to what theme we want to install the app. I'm going to click on start the setup. So now we need to enable the app embed. So just click the button to turn it on. And now, as you can see, it is now turned on. We're going to click on save. Now go back to the Judge Me page and click install a review widget. Review widget is added. I'm going to click on got it. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to go back to the Judge Me app we were working on. Widget block installed. Now we're going to install the star rating. So we have to just go through these steps real quick. I'm going to click on install star rating. Star rating added. I'm going to click on close. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to go back to the previous window here. Then over here, we can set our branding. I'm just going to click continue. And then next, we have to choose how many days after a purchase you want to send a review request email. So for my online dog training business, I set it to 18 days, so 18, but do whatever makes sense for your product. I'm going to click on finish. So now that we've added the review widget, let's now add some example reviews. So I'm going to click on import reviews. I'm going to click here on import, and I'm going to download the sample file. I'm going to make a copy of this file. So this is the default sample file, and I changed it to this. So this is the title of the review. So here you can see how it will look. So the title, these are the titles. We have the body. This is the body of the review. Then we have the rating, which is the star rating. Then we have the review date, the reviewer name, the reviewer email, and then the product URL. And this is important that you add the correct product URL. So to find your product URL, you're going to go to your Shopify store, and then we're going to go to products, and then you can click on a specific product. So for example, this one. So you can see the product URL over here. If we click on edit, if we click on the pencil icon, here we can see the product URL. So this is the entire URL, and you're going to copy this last part over here. And that's what you paste inside this field over here. So just like that. I'm going to remove it. So when you're done editing the sample CSV file, you're going to click on file, and then you're going to click on download, and then we're going to download it as a CSV file. Now we're going to go back to our Shopify store, and we're going to go to the apps, and we're going to find the Judge Me review app. We're going to go to manage reviews, and we're going to import and sync reviews. We're going to choose the upper option here again. I'm going to click on import. Now I'm going to find that file that I just downloaded, and I'm going to add it over here. So I just uploaded the file. I confirm that these imported reviews are genuine reviews of my product, and I have permission to use them. I'm going to click on import. The file was uploaded. I'm going to click on done. And now if we click on manage reviews, we can see the the reviews we just added to our store. So let's now add this review section to our homepage. I'm now going to click on online store and I'm going to go to customize. I'm going to click on customize here. I'm going to scroll down and here we're going to add the section for the review. I'm going to click on add section to templates. I'm going to go to apps and then over here we have the review widget. I'm going to click on it and now we have to select the product you want to showcase reviews for. I'm going to click on select and then we imported the reviews for this particular product. So I'm going to select this particular product and now as you can see, we can see these example reviews we just imported. So now if I click on save and if we take a look at our homepage, I'm going to click on view and if we scroll down here we can see the review widget. So personally I'm not a big fan of the default widget layout, so I like to tweak it with some custom CSS. So I want it to look clean and tidy and I don't want visitors to filter by 1 star. So for example now we only have reviews for 5 star, but if you click on it, as you can see, you can filter on those specific 5-star ratings. So for example, if there are 1-star ratings, potential customers can click on it and can read those 1-star ratings. Also, I don't want them to filter on, for example, the lowest star rating. I just want to showcase the most recent reviews on top. So we can do that by adding some custom CSS. So we're going to go back to the Shopify editor here. We're going to click on exit. We're going to go to the review app. I'm going to click on exit. I'm going to go to apps. I'm going to click on Judge Me Review app. I'm going to click on widgets and I'm going to customize the review widget. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where you'll see the custom CSS section. And here we can see the advanced custom CSS section. So here you can paste in the custom CSS. And now if we click on save, let's see how the new review widget looks. If we refresh this page, now you can see it looks a little bit more clean. Now the most recent reviews are on top and they cannot filter any longer on like the lowest rating. It's just the most recent reviews that are on top. And by the way, if you want this exact CSS code that I've used, so you can just copy it right now, you can pause this video, but you can also request free access to my Shopify course. So if you go to robinsnewsletter.com, you can request free access to the Shopify course. So this is the course and you can go to that specific lesson and copy the code directly. So I update the course a few times per month and every update comes with a unique link, which I share with my newsletter subscribers. So make sure to subscribe to get instant access to the latest version of the course. So now that we've saved the Judge Me Review app, we're going to go back to the online store and we're going to continue customizing the homepage. I'm going to click on customize. So we're going to add some more content to this homepage. So I'm going to click on add section over here in the template section. So add section. And now I'm going to choose the multi-row section. So then as you can see by default, it comes with 3 rows. So let's select the first row and upload a new image here. I'm going to click on add file. I'm going to click on done. So let's first tweak some settings in the multi-row settings bar on the right. So if we click on multi-row, here we can tweak some settings. So for example, let's tweak the height to large and let's make the text style a bit bigger. And we can do that here in content. So heading size large. And let's also remove this white space a little bit. So here we can tweak the padding. I'm going to remove the padding. Let's now change this text here. I'm going to click on the first row here again. So I'm going to change this headline to something like this. Then we have the text over here. I'm going to tweak that as well. Then the button label. And then we can add a button link. So we can link it to a specific product. I'm going to click on products and then I'm going to choose that particular product, Thermacore 1. And then lastly, we have the caption Thermacore 1. So if I only want to use 1 row, as you can see, I can just click the bin icon over here. I can also add more rows if we click on these 3 dots over here. And if we click the duplicate button here. And now as you can see, it duplicates and a new row is added. So for this website, I'll be adding 2 extra rows, so 3 in total. And I will add some content to it. So I now added the extra rows with some new content. I'm going to click on save. So let's have a look at our website again. I'm going to click these 3 dots, click on view. Let's scroll down. We can see these 4 products. We have the review widget. And then we have this multi-row section with some USPs of our product with some clean product images. And below the multi-row, we're going to add an About Us section here. So I'm going to click on Add a Section, and I'll use the Image with Text section. So we're going to add a theme image over here. I'm going to select the image, add a file, upload the file. I'm going to click on Done. So let's add some relevant text. I'm going to click on the heading element over here. I'm I'm gonna add text. Then we have this text element here. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna tweak it to something like this. We can make it bigger if we want. We have to click the subtitle here instead of the body. Then we have the button. So we can tweak the button label to something like meet the team. And then we have to add a link to the About Us page, for example. But we haven't created that page yet. So let's fix that. Let's first save this page. And I'm gonna exit the editor. And I'm gonna go to Pages. So the contact page is here by default. I'm gonna add a new page, give it a title, then add some content to the page. Then you can click save and you can preview the page by clicking on this button before you turn it visible. So let's click on preview the page. So this is the About Us page we just created. And let's say we want to reduce the white space below this title over here. So this is again something we have to do with Custom CSS inside Shopify. So first thing we have to find out what this title tag is. So this is a little bit advanced, but I'm gonna show you anyway. I'm gonna click on right mouse button here and I'm gonna click on inspect. And you can see that the HTML tag for this header is the H1 HTML tag. And then you could ask ChatGPT to write custom CSS code to reduce the margin below this H1 header. So you could write something like this, for example, write CSS code to reduce white space below H1 header tag. I'm gonna click on enter. So I'm gonna copy this code over here. I'm gonna go back to our Shopify editor. I'm gonna click on view the template of this page. And now as you can see, we're back in the Shopify editor, but instead we're not on the home page. We are on the pages editor. If we click on pages, we're now on the default pages. So every new page you create will currently have this default page template. And if we click here on page inside the template here, we can go to custom CSS and we can add that code we just copied from ChatGPT. And now, as you can see, the white space below the title is more or less gone. You can also tweak it to 0. And as you can see, the white space is even less now. So let's click on save. So we can go back to the actual page. We can close this inspector tool. If we refresh this page right now, you can see the difference here. And now the white space is pretty much gone. And by the way, I'll add a full lesson on how to add custom CSS to your Shopify store in my free Shopify course. So make sure to subscribe to my newsletter, robinsnewsletter.com, to get the latest version of my free Shopify course. So now we can close this template. We can close this preview tab here. We're going to go back to the Shopify editor. So let's go back to online store pages and the About Us page. So if you want, you can tweak the SEO settings here. So the Google page title and the meta description. And then lastly, we're going to change the visibility from hidden to visible to make your page live. I'm going to click on save. Now we're going to go back to online store. We're going to click on customize. We're going to scroll down and here we have that section we were working on. We're going to add that link to this button. I'm going to paste in the link. I'm going to click here on link and now I'm going to go to pages and now we can see the About Us page we just created. I'm going to click on save. And now if we click these 3 dots, click on view, let's test if it's working. I'm going to scroll down and now if you click here on meet the team, it shows the About Us page we just created. So let's now change the footer. So we want to change it to something like this. So we have a logo, we have something like this. So our address, some handy links, and then some links to our products. So to do that, we're going to click on footer and we're going to add a new block and we're going to add an image. We're going to add a logo image to our footer. I'm going to select the logo here at the top right here. I'm going to scroll down and select the logo we already uploaded before. I'm going to click on done. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, something like 150. We can also check the mobile layout to see how it looks. And next we're going to add the menu items block. So I'm going to click on add a new block here. I'm going to click on menu and the default menu is the footer menu. And the only link right now in the footer menu is called search. But let's tweak that. So I'm going to click here on the footer menu. I'm going to click on edit. It'll open a new window here. And now we can edit the footer menu. So I'm going to remove the search link. I'm going to click on remove. And now I'm going to add some other menu items. So I'm going to link to the About Us page, pages. I'm going to add another menu item. I'm going to link to the contact page, pages, and then I'm going to add another menu item. So for example, policies, and then the privacy policy. Then I'm going to click on save. We can close this window now. And now if we click on save here, you can see the menu is now updated. We can also tweak the heading to something like handy links. And obviously this footer can always be updated as you add more important pages to your store. Then if you have a physical store, you can add your address here as well. So we're going to add a new block here. I'm going to add a text block. So for the heading, I'm going to tweak it to something like this. Then we have the subtext. We can add the address here. And by the way, you can easily rearrange this by just dragging and dropping these blocks. So now I'm going to click on save. And let's now add another block here with some links to our products. So I'm going to click on add a block. I'm going to click on menu. I'm going to click on the menu drop down here. And I'm going to click on replace. But we haven't created a menu yet for our products. So we have to create a menu over here. I'm going to click on create menu. It opens a new link again. You can also do it over here in content and menus. I'm going to call this one footer 2. I'm going to add a menu item and it's going to be our products. So I'm going to click on products. I'm going to add product 1. I'm going to add another one and add another one. Products and the fourth. I'm going to click on save. Now we can close this window. We go back to the Shopify editor. I'm going to click on save here. I'm going to refresh this page. I'm going to select the footer menu here again. And I'm going to click on replace. And now as you can see, we have the option to select footer number 2. We can tweak the title here to something like this. And I'm going to click on save. So to add some social media icons here in the footer as well, you're going to click on footer, scroll down here in theme settings. And here you can add links to your social media. So for example, if I add the Facebook link here, you can see an icon from Facebook is added automatically to our footer. Let's take a quick look at the mobile view again. It looks pretty nice. I'm going to click on save again. Then if you click on footer, over here we see the email sign up. It is enabled by default, so if we disable it, it disappears. If we enable it, it appears again. So for my online dog training business, I use a different email marketing tool than Shopify email. So this is the native Shopify email. They have an email marketing tool, which is pretty cool. So here you can find some more information on it. So for example, every month you can send up to 10,000 manual or automated emails for free. And after that, you only pay for what you use, $1 per 1,000 additional emails. So there are no monthly commitments. So in the near future, I will also publish a Shopify email marketing tutorial. So make sure to subscribe to my newsletter, robinsnewsletter.com, to get access to my free Shopify course and get notified when I update it. So then over here we have something else in the footer, which is powered by Shopify. Let's remove that. So we're going to exit this editor in the top left corner here. We're going to go to online store, themes, and then we're going to click these 3 dots here next to the customize button. And we're going to click on edit default theme content. Then over here we have this search option here where you're going to click on it and you're going to search for powered. And then over here we can see powered by Shopify. And the only thing you have to do right now is just enter a space here. So 1 space, just like that. You're going to click on save. And now if we go back to our Shopify store, if we refresh the page and if we scroll down, you can see now the reference to Shopify is gone. And then another thing, let's say you want to tweak the store name. So now it says Flowly1, which is obviously a bit of a weird name. To tweak this, we're going to go back to our Shopify dashboard. We're going to go here to settings in the bottom left corner. And then over here in general, here we can see the store details. You're going to click the pencil icon. And then over here, we can tweak the store name. So for example, just to our brand name, I'm going to click on save. And now if we refresh this page, you can see over here, the page title also changed already. And now the brand name here at the bottom also changed. This link, by the way, just links to your Shopify URL. So we're almost done with the homepage, but not entirely yet. So we created the About Us page, but Shopify also created the contact page by default. And just like with the About Us page, I'm not a big fan of that big white space below the page title of contact here. There's just so much white space here. Why is that? So let's fix that. We're going to go back to our dashboard here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to online store. I'm going to click on the customization button here. And then over here at the drop down, I'm going to go to pages, and then I'm gonna select the contact template page. I'm gonna click on it, and then this is the contact template page. And we can use the same CSS code we've used on the About Us page. So if we go back to that ChatGPT window, it's still open here. We can copy it. We can go back to Shopify. We're gonna click the page element over here, and then over here we can see Custom CSS. We can add the Custom CSS here. We can tweak it to 0 again. And now as you can see, there's already less white space here. But as you can see at the top right corner here, there's also some top padding and bottom padding. Let's remove the bottom padding here, and let's reduce the top padding to something like 8 pixels. So let's click save. And now if we go back to the contact page, and if we refresh this page, you can clearly see the difference. There's a lot less white space, but there is still some white space here. We can reduce that as well if we click on the contact form here. And here we have some top padding too. We can entirely remove it as well. I'm gonna click on save. Now if we go back to the contact page and refresh the page, you can see there is a lot less white space. It's not the most important thing, but it just annoys me, that white space, that unnecessary white space. Then finally, we have the product pages. So for example, if we click a random product here, so this one, we have the product pages we can tweak. So these product pages can be improved for more sales and better conversion rates. So this is the default template for a product page. But those product pages is something I'll save for next week's video. So if you're watching this video in the future, that product page tutorial video will be ready already, and I will link to that here somewhere on the screen, so you can just click on it and watch that video as well. And don't forget to visit my website robinsnewsletter.com to get access to my free Shopify course.